To get you right out to WBZ's Louisa Moller with more about what she is seeing, hearing, and learning. Louisa.
My commute every day. Hey, Courtney. Well, we are here on Memorial Drive. You can see this intense scene behind me, and we just spoke with 3 different witnesses, all who told me that this gunman shot at their vehicles and actually struck their vehicles. So I'm going to get out of the way so I can sort of orient you with what's going on here. Again, this is Memorial Drive. We're facing in the west direction, and if you look towards the caution tape that's surrounding a red car over there, one of the witnesses I spoke with was driving that vehicle. He told me that he was just driving, casual afternoon, when all of a sudden he he heard the pops of gunfire. Didn't think it was gunfire at the time. He just heard something that sounded like construction.
Reference points in front of the pole.
Yep. And then also as soon as he heard these pops, he then saw what appeared to be a man. He said a dark-skinned individual was carrying a long gun of some kind. That's when he said the gunfire erupted. He said that he stopped his car, crouched down inside of his vehicle. A bullet actually struck his car right in the radiator. A coworker who was driving in front of him, also his vehicle was struck in the front headlight. We also spoke, this is crazy, with a very emotional woman who was in a small school bus on her way to go pick up special needs children from school. She said she also heard the gunfire. She and another woman inside that bus, they crouched down. They then got out of the bus and fled through the bushes, trying to get away as quickly as they possibly could. Now, the saving grace here is that all of these witnesses described a state police trooper quickly arriving on the scene and within seconds getting out of his cruiser, engaging the gunman, and then shooting the gunman multiple times. We believe, it's hard to see from this vantage point, but there is evidence of that shootout that took place further on this side, closer to the river. We've seen a lot of investigative efforts concentrated around there, as well as some other things on the ground. It looks like potentially articles of clothing. So yeah, from our side, again, we're at Pleasant Street Extension, facing Memorial Drive West. We've spoken with 3 separate witnesses, all who said their cars were shot out, their vehicles were struck, and that this was an extremely scary situation, that they are thankful at this point that it seems to be under control, and that they also told us that no one around them was injured. Courtney, back to you.
Louisa Moller reporting live from this breaking news scene on the ground in Cambridge. And Cheryl, what we're learning from Louisa helps us to understand even more why the span of the scene, because people are looking and wondering, well, there are cars here, there are cars here, there are cars there. There are lots of police, but now we're hearing from Louisa that there were just people driving on Memorial Drive as they do every day. Just a civilian driving. There was a small school bus driving, all unsuspecting of what was going to happen next.
Terrifying. It had to be terrifying. You're thinking this is broad daylight Memorial Drive in Cambridge, generally considered to be a very safe area. And these folks are recounting that they were driving and their cars were shot at. Crazy when you think about that at that time of day in a neighborhood that's generally considered to be safe. So thankfully, as we're told, according to Cambridge officials, that there is no ongoing threat, that the situation there is under control, and what we're now looking at are investigative efforts to learn more about what happened and how this all unfolded, and if this is related to an incident that happened earlier in Boston. As they piece together all of that information, that we'll learn more about what may have sparked this. That we know that this came in as a 911 call at around 1:30 in the afternoon of shots fired, an active shooter. We know that this, according to I-Team sources, that this is a police-involved shooting, that a Massachusetts state trooper shot the suspect in this case. We do know that there are other victims that were injured in this incident. We're working to learn more about those people and the condition involving those folks. But again, this is a police-involved shooting in Cambridge on Memorial Drive. You can see there that the road is shut down. This is a very high traffic area on an average day in the middle of the day. And as the day gets longer, at almost 3 o'clock here, that area generally becomes quite congested. So folks are going to have to find alternate routes to get to where they need to go in the coming hours as the police continue their investigation.
Absolutely. And if you were just tuning in right now wondering how this could potentially impact your commute, you're getting a look here. This is the 800 block of Memorial Drive. This is actually right across the Charles River from the DoubleTree Hotel. And as Cheryl was explaining, this is normally a high traffic area. And when I say that, I mean you have visitors, you have residents, you have students. We know that the school year is wrapping up, and so there's just a lot more people out and about on Memorial Drive this time of year, which also makes it even scarier. You know, we heard from a resident through one of our reporters earlier about hearing just gunshots in rapid succession in a part of our viewing area here that is not necessarily expecting to hear or face any unsafe conditions here. We're now getting a look back here out over Sky Eye. Again, it is showing you the scope, the span of this active investigation. And now that we have heard from our Louisa Moller just here in the last few minutes, it helps you to understand more why the scope of this investigation is so broad, because there were regular everyday people driving in their cars on Memorial Drive that became victims of this gunman. And so now the obvious question is, well, what was the motivation? What led this gunman to do that? Was this planned? Was it premeditated? You know, there's still lots of questions surrounding this shooting investigation, but what we do want to make sure that we point out is that Cambridge PD has said that there is not an ongoing danger to the public. So although you might be stepping outside, you might be looking outside of your window, you might be stuck on the other side of this traffic watching us maybe from your phone or your iPad or your laptop, and you're wondering what's going on. While it is impacting the area in one way, there is not an ongoing danger to the public.
Right, and you know, and that's important. I think a lot of folks, there's a lot of office buildings around there. It's a very busy area, as we've been talking about, and I'm sure that there are people that are concerned about their loved ones and want to make sure that they're safe. And at this point, we're told by Cambridge officials that there's no ongoing threat and that they're not concerned about that at this point. This is an investigation into exactly what happened here as they piece together what sparked this, what set this off, how many victims there may be, how much property damage there may be, what the status of the suspect's condition is at this point. We do know that no Massachusetts state troopers were shot, and this appears to be an incident involving a police shooting. And at this point, we're not sure exactly what the condition is of the suspect. We do know that the suspect was shot.
And right now we want to get you back out to our Kristina Rex, who continues to gather information and give us a look here from the ground on Memorial Drive. Kristina.
Courtney, I just spoke to a witness to this shooting. He actually called 911. He says he called 911 after he heard about 5 gunshots. We'll just show you some context here. There's a number of apartment buildings here along Memorial Drive. The man who I spoke to lives on the 18th floor of this building right here on the corner. So he says he heard about 5 gunshots, then he went to look outside, and that's when he called 911. This is his description of what happened. That witness's name is Joseph Menino Rodriguez. Again, he lives nearby. He says he heard in different increments 5 to 6 shots, totaling about 30 or so shots over the course of the time this man was allegedly shooting. According to this witness, he says there was a man with a long gun, carrying a long gun. The man was wearing shorts and a hat, and he says he was walking up and down the length of Memorial Drive. This witness claims the man kept shooting at cars, seemingly randomly. The man says these were cars that were just on Memorial Drive in traffic like typically would be, you know, at 1:30 or so in the afternoon. afternoon on a Monday, and he says this man was screaming, but he couldn't identify what the man was actually saying. But to quote him, he said he seemed angry and he was shooting at cars, taking breaks in between. The man then witnessed the moment, he says, that police took the man down. He believes that they shot him somewhere below the waist because he said it looks as though the man's legs gave out. Now, I won't show you this video, but the man did show me video that he took where you can see the suspect laying on the ground with 2 police officers over him. He appears to have been taken down on the sidewalk right along the Charles River, so the side of the street that I'm standing on, actually. And in the video, you can see what appears to be that long gun, maybe 5 or 6 feet away from the suspect as he's down on the ground. I just want to play you a couple minutes of sound now, some of the things that this witness told us he saw.
So after the 5th shot, I go to the balcony. All I see is my boy reloading. He's standing like this, he goes like that, he's looking, he's talking, he's just yelling. He turns around because he was first this side, so it looked like he's walking this way, and then he turns around and then he just starts shooting. This side, on the left side first, then the cars in the back start doing that U-turn. Then this side, you see a bunch of cars, well, not a bunch, just like 2, maybe 3, just right past him. Then he starts shooting at them. While he's on his way walking this way, it looked like, I don't know if it jammed or something, I don't know but he had to reload it again, he had to do something to it. While he's standing next to a car, he's hitting the window. He's hitting the window a couple of times. He's like mad, he's frustrated. I don't know what happened, I don't know what's going on with him. He's hitting the window, he's talking to the car inside. He didn't shoot it. He hit it with the gun. He didn't shoot it, he starts walking off. Now that's when I'm on the phone with the cop, while I'm walking. What's going on? He's walking around, he's shooting. You can hear the shots. I think you can hear the shots while I'm on the phone with it. He's letting it go. There's more car pulling up on the back. He starts shooting those cars. At least 2, 3 shots. My boy just straight up gets into a gunfight with the cops now. So I'm telling the cop, he's like, all right, yeah, just I'm gonna hang up, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Once he gets to that gunfight, I think I'm probably like 6 shots in, maybe 2 from him, and the rest from the cop. He drops, straight drops. But the way he drops like his leg gave out. So I'm thinking they shot his leg, so he lays down, pop. I think he throws the gun. I know he throws the gun. So once he throws the gun, my boy is just out here just laying down, and now he has his hands up. Now he's done.
And so you're saying he was walking up and down the street, re-racking and shooting at passing cars?
He was walking out. He probably was trying to go this way, but I'm thinking he probably tried to stop traffic to a certain point because it was a good amount. It was a good amount of people. So he tried to stop the traffic at a certain amount, and he thought it was a perfect time to just start letting it go. It was at least 30 shots.
And again, that witness, his name is Joseph Menino Rodriguez. He was witnessing this from the 18th floor of a nearby apartment building. Because of his location, he told me he didn't feel unsafe, and he felt safe to call 911 and describe what was happening. He was on the phone with police, he says, until he saw troopers, he says, actually take down that suspect. Again, he was reporting that he didn't know what the suspect's motivation was, but to quote him, he actually said it looked like a video game. The way the man was allegedly walking up and down Memorial Drive, pointing a long gun at passing cars. Still looking right now to confirm that information with police. Again, state troopers here on the scene, Cambridge police here on the scene, EMS, more than 20 cruisers investigating at this point, a number of news choppers in the air. You can probably hear them during our live shot right here. And there's a number of witnesses to this because, as I mentioned, there's multiple apartment buildings right nearby. So people told me, at least 2 people so far told me that they heard the shots and stepped out onto their balconies to see what was going on. So that's the latest here from the scene. For now, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio, Courtney.
Kristina, Rick, thank you.